I understand that you folks are learning about some of the critters that call Oakland home. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to start learning that.
You're going to start learning about some of the animals that call Oakland home. Great community. Oakland is a great community. I've been living here for over, golly, 15 years now, and I'm not going anywhere. I love it here. But Oakland is the big city, right? A lot of folks live in that city. Got a lot of buildings, got a lot of roadways, got Lake Merritt, a lot of things like that. But does anybody know if we have any big parks in Oakland? You're in the middle of one right now, folks. This is in Oakland, California. We are in Oakland, California right now. This is part of your community. It is your park. And you folks get a chance to go check it out. Does anybody have any idea what kind of a park this is? Does anybody have any idea why somebody would name this place Redwood Regional Park? Why would you call it Redwood Regional Park? Can you please tell me your name too? Mila. Why did you call it Redwood Regional Park? Not maybe. Be confident, woman. There are a lot of redwoods in this place. We have lots and lots of redwoods here. It's a very special place. Let's put our hands down. Thank you very much. I know everybody had a lot of good answers on that one. Lots of redwoods. So redwoods are nice. It makes Oakland special. But I'll tell you what. From right about here, Oakland, California, maybe down that direction about 80 miles. Anybody ever heard of Monterey Bay, Monterey, California, the Monterey Bay Aquarium, places like that?
I've been there.
So down there, that's about where the redwoods begin. And they come on up here, they grow up here, and they grow all the way up into Oregon. But that's it. No place else on planet Earth do these things grow. Now, if you were here about, I don't know, 5 million years ago, you'd be walking around and you go, redwoods, big deal. They're all over the place. And they used to be all over the place, but now there aren't that many left. So the places where they are even more special than they used to be. So you folks are extraordinarily lucky. Not only to just come on up and have the day up here, but to say, redwoods are part of my town. This is Oakland, California. This is something to be very proud of up here. So today, the big goal here, folks, big goal, what I want everybody to do today is to prove to me with some evidence, not just saying, well, because you said so, or because I heard this, because so-and-so said so. I want some evidence to tell us, yes, indeed, we are in a redwood forest. I need some evidence. And we're walking along. I want you folks to look for some clues to tell you, aha, I think this belongs in a redwood forest. We must be in a redwood forest. Okay, so I need those clues. And you folks, can somebody please tell me how you might find some evidence that tells you you're in a redwood forest? What's one of the things you might do, Mr. Chen?
See if they're big.
Okay, see if they're big. If what's big?
The trees.
Are redwood trees big?
Yeah. They're really tall.
What?
They're tall. They're tall. They're super tall. They're like the tallest thing.
Dude, they're like the tallest thing in the world? Dude, I think you're right. They are like the tallest. They are not like the tallest thing in the world. They are the tallest thing in the world. Trees go. Okay, that's what, I want to hear another thing. We can see things. What's another thing that we can use to actually find some evidence? Let us know, oh yeah, we've got to be in the redwood forest because, what do you think, buddy? Oh, they're thick. So maybe you can go up to it and feel one. Touch that bark, touch that outside skin of that tree and feel it. What's another thing so we're looking, we're feeling. What's another thing you might, just answer you, just watch you explode, right? All right, what do you think? Okay, give me what's your name again, please? Lena. What's another thing we can do besides looking and maybe touching these things? Let us know where they're. If you come up with something, you let us know. Let us know. Who's that? What's your name? Joe. Ah, you can smell the redwoods. Actually, you can walk through a forest, and I'll bet you a penny that if you smelled Crocker during lunchtime, you smell all kinds of different kinds of lunches. But if you smelled up here, would it smell different? A lot different. It might smell like a forest, okay? And what's another thing we could do? Let me see. Yes, what's your name?
Probably sounds
Oh, no, what's your name?
Julia.
Julia. And probably what?
Sounds like animals and trees blowing.
Did you folks hear that one?
No.
Probably, scream it out really loud, Julia.
It probably like sounds like animals.
It probably sounds like
Animals and the trees.
animals, the trees blowing, things like so. Listening is our best thing to do. Today, You know, folks, what's the last one of our senses that's left? We got our eyes, got our ears, got the nose, take care of this. You know, we're going to wait for snack time. You folks can eat something at snack time. Huh? Okay. All right. I don't want to be responsible for that one. Okay, so we won't be eating anything. But there are a lot of different ways to discover when they're redwoods, not just our eyes. We're very lucky to have good eyes, but there are lots of other ways to let us know when they're redwoods. Okay? Here's the deal, folks. I've got a couple rules for you. I have so many people here. Can I have hands down? Can I please see everybody's eyes? Let me see your eyes. Nice. Let me see. Let me see. Very nice. Let me see those eyes. Okay, so I can see your eyes. I know that you're listening. We're going to have a few rules. So check it out. Share it with everybody. But then do what with it? What's your name? What's your name?
Asher.
Asher says drop it. One, Asher, it's just, what if everybody just took it home? I love this stick. There's a lot of sticks here. I'm just going to pocket and take it home.
Then you'd be taking everything from the park.
And if everybody who came here took their favorite thing out, what's left?
Nothing.
Nice park. Would you go to a park that has nothing in it?
No.
It would be the Nothing Regional Park? No. We want to leave it here. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to leave it here, not just so somebody else can see it, but so animals can use it, so that little bugs can eat it, so that it can become part of the soil. Maybe a bird can use it for a nest. Who knows? We want to leave it here for that reason. When you leave it here, just put it down. It doesn't have to be in exactly the same place. Just put it down, but don't chuck it, okay? Because if you chuck it, you might whack somebody, and we don't want that to happen, okay? So just put it right on here, okay? Oh, it says we got a big group. Very important rule. Since we are going together as a group, we want to share everything together. Let's stay together as a group. No slinkies. We don't stretch out and spring back, okay? We're going to be walking together the whole way so we share something the whole time. And actually, could you folks help me out? When you have these young scholars something to share, how do they let us know? Do they have something to share with us?
They raise their hands.
Oh, they raise their hands. Okay. And let us know. And then, do you folks have some kind of a get-together sign or a quiet sign or anything like that?
We do have a quiet coyote.
Oh, quiet coyote. Oh, right. Okay. Everybody know that one? Let's see if it works. Ready? Let's see if it works.
It's like this.
It's pretty magical over here. Very good. So quiet coyote. That works for everybody? Okay, that's great. That way we can all share stuff together. Excellent. Okay. Those are all the rules. Who remembers their job? What's your job? The one I gave at the very beginning. All right, what was that job? Yes. This is, what's your name?
Owen.
Owen, yes.
Be quiet.
No, that's not really the job. Remember the very first thing I gave you at the very beginning? What was it? Well, have fun. Yeah, that's just the soup. We always want folks to have fun. But there was another one. Do you remember? To find and to prove to me that we are in the forest. Okay, great. Any questions? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pack my pack. And we're going to get scooting here. If anybody has any questions along the way, by all means, share them. A question, something you don't know, want an answer for, I'll bring that with you for now. Share stuff. We got the quiet cover? Oh, no, that's man, you're way far away, buddy. I'm going to use my phone to call you. Come on over. Go by Mr. Donnie's water. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Shh. Okay, got something here. I'm going to stay right where you are. Glue your feet to the ground. Everybody can see them. I'm looking on the ground. I'm seeing some grass. I'm seeing some ground. And then I'm seeing something very different. It's a hole. Aren't you glad you came? It's a hole. Okay, so what's the deal? Can somebody please raise their hand to give me the idea of why is there a hole here? Yes.
A gopher dug it.
What's that?
A gopher dug it.
Maybe a gopher dug it. Does everybody know what a gopher is? Put one fist up. Imagine a mouse about that big, furry little mammal. Put up two fists. That's about as big as a gopher. Some of them get as big as my fist. They get pretty fat. Gophers love to dig holes because that's where they live. They dig a hole, live underground, except in the springtime when the boys come out and they start walking around and they sniff and they knock on all the girls' doors asking if they could have a little date. It's not springtime. It's not springtime right now. But even so, they're living underground. if you were a gopher, why would you want to live under the ground? Yes.
To shield yourself from predators.
Oh, everybody hear that word? Predator?
Yeah, I heard.
What? Can you tell me what a predator is, please? It's an animal that eats another animal. So predators can be coyotes, hawks, or maybe a
Snake.
How do we know if there's no snake in there?
Snakes don't live underground.
They do. They love to live underground, especially this time of year when it gets really, really cold outside. Oh, we know that mice and gophers are mammals. What is a snake? What kind of animal? Reptile. Everybody, put your hand up like this and face towards the sun with your hand. Does it feel a little warm? Well, it's nice and cozy outside. It's a great time for reptiles to be out because their blood under their skin is what? Well, it's not cold. It's only about as warm as it is outside. So if it gets too cold all the time in the winter, go underground and live there till next year. It's called hibernating. But in the meantime, you might go around and you might go into that gopher's house, eat them, and then take over the house. So is the best way, what's your name? Cameron, come here, Cameron. So Cameron is out, she's going, well, I've got to find out. My curiosity is killing me and I've got to find out who lives down there. Is the best idea for Cameron to take her fingers and put it down in that hole? No! There you go. No, as she pulls her hand out and there's a big long rattlesnake hanging on, is that a good idea?
No!
Or even a gopher might bite too, not to be mean, but to protect itself. Because if you were a gopher living in a hole and you saw this giant hand coming in your front door, you'd probably bite it to protect, right? There is a clue though. You can look for some clues, folks. One of them is to see if there's a lot of fresh dirt around. We might see piles of dirt around some of these gopher holes, and that means there are gophers in the holes because they like having a clean house. They dig out all the loose dirt, suck it in their mouth, spit it out in a pile on the surface. Okay? So if we see a lot of dirt around, there might be a gopher in there. If there's a spider web across the top or a bunch of leaves in there, it's kind of a messy place, probably no gopher. Probably no gopher. We don't know if there's a snake in there. But the lesson here is that when you are in a place where wild animals live, which is pretty much anywhere in Oakland, you never put your hands and feet where you can't see them. You never reach into a gopher hole, under a rock, step in the tall grass, because there might be something there that's hiding from you. Not to be mean, but because it's scared. So you always want to be careful, always be able to see your hands and feet. Yes? Right now, does it feel like we are in the redwood forest? No. It's kind of warm and cozy. What is one of the things that redwoods really like? What kind of weather do redwoods really like? Yes? They like it moist. They like it foggy, shady, cool. So when we left Crocker this morning, it's all foggy. They like that. But right here on the edge of the forest, we find a lot of critters that call this place home too. Because then they can fly. Hold those feet nice and still, folks.
Yes.
Move those feet, because it's dusty. Man, it's dusty when you move your feet around.
Yes.
Hold them still, please, guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to count on some help here. Thank you. We have a lot of critters that call this place home, and one of them, right up in that box, it's a bird box that was built for this guy. Barn owls. Barn owls live where do you think they like to live? In barns, they do. But before there were barns, there were still owls around here. And they like to live in parts of trees that have broken off, and there's a big hole in the tree where it rots out. It's called a big cavity, like when you don't brush your teeth. Everybody brush your teeth this morning, yes? Okay, great. So you got a cavity in a tree, and owls will live there. But what happened to an awful lot of the trees up here in Oakland, California, about 150 years ago? People started living here going, this is a nice place to live. I want to build my house. What am I going to build my house out of?
Wood.
Wood. And what's a great place to get wood?
Redwood.
Redwood, folks. Redwood is some of the finest building wood around. So people chop them down like crazy. So if you're an owl and you're living in a redwood, the redwood's gone. You go out you go out at nighttime, you come back, the tree's gone. You have no place to live. Maybe not so many owls around. So we built some owl boxes around here because owls like to eat gophers.
Of course they're not made out of redwood wood.
They're not made out of redwood. Yeah, that's an owl box. Now, the owls are here because they like to eat food, like gophers and things like that. We don't want the grass all torn up, so we figure let's invite some owls and see if they want to live here. And we did have some owls here. They're not around now because barn owls even though they are cousins with great horned owls, do not like having great horned owls around because great horned owls eat everything. I mean, anytime you ask a question, who eats that? Who eats a gopher? Great horned owls. Who eats skunks? Great horned owls. Who eats baby great horned owls? Great horned owls. Who eats baby eagles? Great horned owls. They are amazing hunters. So when these guys move in, these guys get out of town. Now, if we were lucky enough to find an owl living in there, we might think to ourselves, well, are they eating the gophers? You want them to eat the gophers. Are they eating the gophers? How do you find out? How do you find out what an owl is eating? What?
Owl pellet.
Oh, you folks know this one already? Why am I even here?
We saw a video
Yeah.
and we threw it on.
Is that the greatest thing? Can you imagine? Okay, everybody, remember that? Remember those two fists together? You're a gopher? Okay, now put your thumb up. That's about as big as the mouth of an owl. You get this guy, you grab it, you bring it back to your place to eat. Are you gonna pull out the fork and knife and pour the pinkies and slice it into small pieces? No, no. What are you gonna do? No, you're gonna swallow that thing whole. You are gonna fit this thing into this mouth. Down it goes. And inside your belly, your body takes up all the stuff that's good for it. All the blood, the guts, the muscles, the eyes, the brains. What's left over? What's left over?
The bones.
You know, the bones go in this way, they'll come out this way. The bones are all sharp and jagged, big sharp teeth, big old skull. If I were an owl, I don't think I want to try to poop that out. It goes in this way, you want to go out that way. But what comes out is the remains, the remnants, the fur, the evidence that tells us what they've been eating. So you can find an entire skeleton inside that owl pellet. So that's a bit of evidence. Even if we see no owls, if we find pellets, we can say, ah, must be some owls around here. Look for all kinds of owls. That's all we know so far. It's just poop, right? When we're in a park, we call poop scat. Let me hear that. Scat! Poop in the park is called scat. Scat is the best storyteller in the park because it tells us not only animals have been there, what animal was in there, and maybe what were they eating. And it might be easier to figure out who it was by looking at what they were eating. But first of all, we just look at it. It just looks like poop, right? Does anybody have a pet dog or a pet cat? Pet cat. Who's got a pet cat? Okay. We have cats in this park. We have bobcats in this park. Wild cats and bobcats we have in this park. What does your pet cat do when it poops? What does it do, Trina? They bury it up, don't they? They bury it up. And even out in a park like this, if a bobcat poops, it'll scratch up the gravel around it to try to bury it up. You will not see it, but we'll see scratch marks. I see no scratch marks, no cat. Dogs, who's got a pet dog? Okay, when your dog poops, what does it do? Well, it might scratch a little bit, but it just pretty much leaves it there. So I don't think it's a cat. It might be a dog. Okay. Well, another way to figure out what it is by looking inside. Well, first of all, what does it look like? Give me some.
Boston Terrier. It looks like poo. It looks like poo. Boston Terrier.
But is it all dried out or is it wet?
Wet.
It's pretty gooey. All right, it's pretty gooey. So let's look inside. Whoa, 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 whoa.
You have to step back.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, quiet coyote, quiet coyote. When we're looking inside, I'm seeing a bunch of little bits of fur, a little bit of seeds. Wow, now that's an interesting one. And it's all wet, so it just was laid out here this morning. I see a bunch of seeds. When we see seeds, we often think that it might be like a raccoon or a fox, but raccoon scat is very choppy, very black and very choppy, like a Tootsie Roll, the 7 little sections. It's just like that. This one, though, has something that's telling us it's likely from a dog. And you see that little corner part right there? Yeah. We call that the poochie pinch. Right when the dog drops that poop, they squeeze or drop it to the ground, and they get that little pinch there. It's got a little bit of hair. I'm thinking this was probably somebody's pet dog that maybe ate some grass. There's a bunch of seeds here, but the rest of it just looks like a bunch of old dog food. But I could be wrong, folks. It might be something else. But this is what gives me a little bit of confusion. As you see how this part here is as fat as this part here. It's like a big pipe with a triangle on the end. That very often means cat poop. Dog poop starts off fat on one side and gets skinnier all the way down like a big triangle. So I don't know what that is. My guess is that it's some kind of little pet dog, but it's shaped kind of strangely enough that it might be a cat. I just don't know. Yes?